Hello, I'm coming to you today with a mid-year market update for summer 2024. Are you starting to sense a shift in the current housing market? Join us in this video as we dive into the mid-year market and give you an update. This video will discuss an overview of the latest real estate trends in the Lake area and nationwide as of this month, this summer I should say. So these are June and July numbers. Including price improvements, inventory levels, interest rates, affordability, and many more data points. We will share forecasts on what to expect for the latter half of this year. We'll also give you practical advice for both buyers and sellers and get the most out of the current market conditions. So let's dive right in. There's a lot of buzz. There was the first of the year, or December last year, where we were talking about interest rate cuts on the horizon. Well, inflation has been pesky and has lagged on, and as you've seen, the Fed did not make those rate cuts, so that did not materialize. So it's been a very challenging year here in the real estate market, but despite this, prices have continued to rise here locally as well as across the country. If you look at nationwide figures for these summer months, home prices are up an average of 5.8% nationwide, and the average price of a home in the country is about $420,000, which is a record high. It seems to me not too long ago the average price of a home in the country was in the 200s. Now we're looking at around $420, so that's kind of amazing. But I don't like to get too much into national figures because all real estate is local. So here in the Smith Mountain Lake, Virginia area, we have a vibrant lake market. So looking at these last 2 months, the average price of all home types, so that's going to include townhomes and condos as well as single family homes, the average price in the immediate lake area was $842,937, which is an increase of 26% year over year for the same time period last summer. Now, defining that down a little bit, the average price of a single family home, detached house in the entire lake area was $987,615, which indicates a 28% increase in value over last summer. And the average price of a waterfront house on Smith Mountain Lake this summer is $1,277,403. So 1.27 million basically, which is a 37% increase over the same time period last summer. So that said, now let's look at transactions and some things that are happening here in the market. More homes are actually flooding into the market this year. So what that means is up for interpretation, right? Are more people deciding to cash out on these record high prices? Or do they simply just need to move? Or other reasons? So looking at the total active listings in the market in June and July, those numbers are up 34%. New listings are up 31% over last summer. But for all home types, the number sold, even though those listings are way up, the number sold is up at only 6% over last year. So what does that mean? More houses are in the market, but they're not selling as quickly. So the days on the market have gotten longer. So sold days on the market of a house here is 50 days. That is the average. So I personally am feeling a shift just starting to happen. I'm seeing most homes sit on the market longer, and we're seeing a lot more price reductions. Were some home sellers getting a little bit greedy or not heeding advice and pricing their homes a little bit too high? I can't stress enough how important it is to price a home correctly. That takes a lot of data and analysis. And another thing to consider is that the data that we're talking about today is really a lagging indicator of the total real estate market, because you have to consider that these numbers, in those numbers I reflected, the house was on the market, like I said, 30 to 50 days, and the agent priced that the house valuation 30 days before that. So, and then the agent, when they were running comparables and a home valuation, some of those numbers were looking at 6 months prior to that. So it will be months before any shift in the market will actually be reflective in the numbers. Just want you to keep that in mind when we talk about these market update numbers. Interest rates. So let's talk about that. Interest rates have been holding steady. They're hovering currently around 7%, a little bit under 7%. So despite that, house prices have continued to increase. The lake property, of course, is always in high demand. Many people still want to move here for various reasons. They may want to escape the hustle and bustle of a more metropolitan city life. A lot of people come from the north wanting to escape colder weather, and many have cashed out in those more expensive areas and come to our area with money to buy or cash to put down because they cashed out in those expensive areas. But because we have a resort style lifestyle here, everybody wants to be in a beautiful lake in the Blue Ridge Mountains, right? So we still have a high demand. Now for buyers, all of this is reflecting the affordability. The rapid increase in prices has not kept pace with the average income here for residents locally, and it makes it very tough for first-time home buyers. It's hard to save a 20% down payment when prices the way they are, but I wanted to stress that for buyers, please talk to your mortgage consultant, and I'd be happy to refer you to some, because there are so many creative programs out there right now for financing. There are FHA, VA loans, and some others that you don't need the 20% down. There are programs for as little as 3% down. So even with current interest rates around 7%, expectations now are that we are predicted to have one rate cut before the end of the year. It will probably be this fall, and it will probably be a minimal cut, but the rate of inflation increase has decreased. So hopefully the Fed will follow through and have that one rate cut at least before the end of the year. Now, when that happens, I think a lot of buyers are going to come out. A lot of people have been on the sidelines waiting for that. We are sitting on the most pent-up demand in history. From one fact alone is that for the first time, home buyers that are of a younger age generation, there was a spike in the birth rate starting in 1990. So buyers that are in their 30s and wanting to buy their first home are the most pent-up demand demographic. They're wanting to buy, so that's going to flood the market. Also, we have trade-up sellers who want to move. They've been wanting to move for a couple of years now, but can't because they're sitting on 3 or 4% mortgage rates on their current home. So as soon as the rate starts to tick down, we're going to see those move up and maybe move down buyers wanting to make a move and sell their home. And now the demand, as another excuse, is that we're in an election year. We're 3 months out, so we'll see what happens. Some people want to wait and see if the election one way or the other affects things. So all of these pent-up factors, I think the dam is going to burst. And when it does, it's going to be crazy again. Still today, we're still seeing some multiple offers in certain situations. If you've got a lakefront home that's in a sweet price point and has all the factors like a nice level lot, we are seeing multiple offers. And I think that craziness will return when all of those factors come into play, especially a tick down in the mortgage rates. So when will that happen? We're not sure. The longer it takes, the larger the surge when it hits. So it doesn't matter, but we know that rates will come down eventually, and we know elections come and go. After that, it's just a matter of time, and boom, the market's going to be crazy again. So as a top agent in my market, these challenging times in the housing market need to be navigated with a professional. I have sold over $20 million in homes just in this past year alone, despite this challenging market, so I know how to navigate the change. I'd love to hear from you. Comment below in the comments your own thoughts and your own predictions on what's going to happen the rest of this year. So buckle up, I'm happy to help you. Reach out, my contact information is below, and have a wonderful day.